Hello and welcome to the Raising Kellen podcast. My name is Marsh Naidu and I blog at raisingkellen.org where we curate resources for families experiencing disabilities. On today's episode 139, I chat with Abby McCage, who will be one of the presenters at the Resource Ability Employment Expo happening in Dyersburg, Tennessee on May the 7th at the Lannom Center. And a sweet surprise is that Sweet Jordans from Paris, Tennessee will be on site with their food truck with lunch items available. So be sure to attend if you're able. Also remember that the content provided on this podcast is for your information only, and if you seek advice for a specific situation, to contact a trained professional. So grab a cup of coffee, put those feet up, and get ready for some awesome conversation. Today I'm joined by Abby McCage, and we are going to be talking employment first. Abby, welcome to the Raising Kellen podcast.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here.
Well, listen, I want to know a little bit more about you. I read in the Employment First 2024 report. That was when I first came across your profile and you graduating from Gibson High School, which is kind of just the next county over from Dyer. So just give us the 411 on Abby.
Okay, so I actually live in Gibson, so Tennessee. I've grown up here. I have a rare form of muscular dystrophy. Right now, I'm a full-time wheelchair user, but growing up, I could walk some, and a big part of my story is just not accepting my disability. I was very ashamed growing up, and, as I've gotten older and, just experienced what life is and understanding that disability isn't a bad thing, that you can use it to have a voice to speak up for others. I've slowly learned to accept my disability, and so I've been more advocating about living with muscular dystrophy instead of being ashamed about it. And currently I work with kids with all kinds of disabilities, whether it be like mental, like autism, or physical disabilities as well. And I just think I'm such in a good place right now that I'm able to advocate instead of being ashamed for myself, because these are kids that are so young, and I want them to grow up and be able to understand that they shouldn't be scared to be who they are, and that disability doesn't have to be a bad thing. I've graduated high school a while back and went to college for a few years. And
where did you go to, Abby?
I actually went to Wright State University in Ohio. It's one of the most accessible schools in the United States. So I went there. It was a very good experience. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do when I was in college. So right now I'm taking a break and I'm kind of focusing on early childhood education and just getting to experience what that is and if I can fully do that job career right now.
Let me ask you a little bit about your upbringing, your family, any siblings? Mom?
I have 2 siblings, an older sister and a younger sister. I have a mom. My dad has not been in my life. So single mom, 2 sisters. My grandparents have been a big part of my life. My mom definitely has seen what it means to have a disability, a child with a disability, and just the doctor's appointments. And she's really been like that one person in my life that I can count on. And so have my sisters. They probably all have a different perspective of what it means to have a disability or live with someone that has a disability.
So you live in Gibson County, and tell us a little bit about your work life and what that entails.
So I work at a therapy and learning center, an early childhood education center. So infants to like right before they go off to kindergarten, so 5-year-olds. And I work every day, 7 to 4 every day. And I currently work with preschool, so kids 3 to 4 years old. In my class, I have multiple kids that have autism. I have a kid with a physical disability as well. And so I currently just work with, I'm an assistant teacher, so I work with a lead teacher, which that means just helping with curriculums, teaching these kids, redirecting, calming, de-escalating some behaviors that happen. And it's really been an eye-opening experience because some days are very stressful. It's definitely a crazy job, but it's very rewarding just working with kids and just seeing, like, I kind of see like a younger version of myself that I just want to like love on, and I just love working with kids. It's such a great experience for me.
In terms of childhood development, it seems like from the way you're talking that that's something that you're really passionate about.
Yes, I just feel like it heals my inner child, because as a child, I just felt like not neglected, because I wasn't neglected, but like, I just feel like I didn't really have anyone that understood me and what it meant to have a disability, and now I can look at these kids and be like encourage them to be strong, like they're worthy, and all these things that I didn't feel like I heard growing up from a teacher or stuff like that. So, does your son have a disability?
Yes, he does. Kellen has cerebral palsy. So he ambulates on crutches. Longer distance, he's a wheelchair user. But for work, in all likelihood, he's going to be, a wheelchair user, because when you work, it's hard. Whether it's part-time or full-time, you're going to have to figure a way on how to best use your body. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it took an adjustment working full-time as having a physical disability. Like, my body had to adjust. Like, it's definitely harder than it would be for a typical, like, person.
Where is your job at, Abby? Where are you employed at?
It's YMCA Early Learning Center.
Okay.
And it's a part of Therapy and Learning Center in Jackson, Tennessee.
Okay. So it's part of the YMCA, basically. How easy was it to find that job? I mean, what was that process like?
I actually went through vocational rehab to find a job that worked for me, like physically, because working with kids is definitely, that is something that I love to do, but it's definitely a physical thing if you're not put in the right place. So I told them what I wanted to do, told them what my passion was. They went about helping me find what worked best for me, and then they also helped the employment place like work with me on adaptions. So I do not work with the younger kids because physically that's a lot for me. Like, I can't pick them up, do what they like. I just don't feel safe in that area either. So I'm put with preschool because they are more independent. I'm there to not necessarily do the physical part, but just the learning, and obviously, I think I can do pretty much mostly everything, but there is adaptions, like working with the older kids. Like, there's just things that were put in place that would work best for me. But yeah, I worked with vocab to help me find that job, and the employment place has been very good with me. They've adapted everything. They've made sure that I felt comfortable where I'm at and things like that. So
Here in Dyersburg, we're really trying to get that conversation started as far as trying to encourage employers to think out of the box. And I'm also working with vocational rehab. They are partners in what we're trying to do, but it's to kind of have just like a program of where we have someone from the state coming to talk about like what are reasonable accommodations. I'm not sure if you heard of Project Search, Abby.
Mm-mm, I haven't.
It's a collaboration between Madison County School Systems and West Tennessee Healthcare, where in the last year of school, which could be anywhere between ages 18 and 21, you actually spend that last year of school on site working at Jackson Madison General. And
Oh,
and you rotate. They have 3 or 4 rotations where you get to learn the different jobs. I mean, it can be anywhere from like working in the coffee shop or doing like the cafeteria to autoclaving surgical equipment or transportation. Obviously, working with accommodations as needed. So someone from Project Search is coming. Leslie from Project Search will be coming to talk. And the last piece of that is going to be like a roundtable discussion or a panel discussion where we're hoping to have both persons with disabilities talking about their work experience and maybe employees in this area that, have an inclusive workplace. And Abby, I know it's a big ask, but whatever needs to be done, whether it means me coming to pick you up or whatever the thing is, please, please come to this because you represent what it's all about. We have got to change people's mindsets. We
mm-hmm.
have too much to offer, too much of value to offer, not to be given a chance.
Yeah.
And, at least for employees to cultivate a mindset or give kids an opportunity to maybe even work like the summer. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just things of that nature. So, how does your transportation work, Abby?
I actually drive myself. My car is not currently adapted, but physically, like I can still use the pedals, like with my feet. But putting my wheelchair in and out is difficult right now. I currently have ramps which I can pull out myself and like push the chair. We're currently in the process of going through vocational rehab to get an accessible car. But yes, I currently drive. It's not the easiest, but I do it every day. So, like, I really want to come to this, and I know that I can.
I think we just need to open eyes and break down barriers. And this is the only way I think we can get this done is if people actually see. You know what I mean?
See, yeah, I
Um,
do. Have
uh,
you always like advocated for this stuff, or?
Always, ever since I'm a physical therapist by training, that's what I do. So, yes, I've always been an advocate, but obviously with my son, when it's personal, I think it brings a different fire or intensity to your
Mm-hmm.
advocacy efforts. I don't know if you've heard of this, but I highly recommend this program. I'm finishing mine off in April of this year. It's held through the Tennessee Council on Developmental Disabilities, but it is inclusive of disability. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily like a congenital disability, it can be acquired. But this is a group of advocates, and they take you through a leadership program. It's 1 day a month, and they are. It's an 8-month program, and 3 of those are actually paid for by the state. You get to go to Nashville. It's a Friday night and a Saturday, and like we get to network with the others, but we also get to um, work on one group project. So our group project is planning past education and what happens after 21 and how can we go about um, cultivating, opportunities, whether that's like housing, transportation. How do we go about cultivating opportunities for our young people to thrive?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's just there's so much happening right now in Tennessee. There's such a big advocacy movement, but I tell you what, I think it needs all of us to kind of put in. You know what I mean? Let me ask you this. What are you excited about? What are some of your favorite pastimes? What are you looking forward to? What are maybe some of your goals for the new year?
I would say my goals, and I'm excited to, work with, be more advocate about my disability and others living with disabilities as well. I love working with kids with disabilities. I'm hoping to expand my areas, not just in this one workplace, but even volunteering for other places, just expanding my knowledge too, because just because I have a disability doesn't mean I'm knowledgeable on all disabilities and what everyone deals with. So, yeah, I'm just excited. I love working. I know a lot of people don't like to work, but I love my job. I love working with the kids that I have. So I'm just honestly taking one day at a time. And I want to get involved in church group. I personally am a Christian. I believe in God, and I really want to incorporate disability in the church. That is like one of my biggest things that I want to do, because that's one area that I feel lacks disability as well. So, yeah, but I'm just excited to advocate more this year. I've been so caught up with school and stuff like that, so I haven't really got to like just go out and like learn about things, and I hope to travel more. I know traveling with a disability can be hard too. So there's a lot of things that I want to do, but I'm not trying to like push myself to be like, I'm going to do all these things this year. So,
Abby, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me. And for the listeners out there, are there any perhaps like words that you would like to leave them with?
I would just say, if there's anyone that is struggling to find their self-worth that lives with a disability, just know that just take it one day at a time. And people that don't live with disabilities, or if they know someone with a disability, just be encouraged to get more advocated about others and empathize with people that you don't really relate to. You can still empathize even though you don't live their life. So, yeah, and everyone has a purpose in life, disability or not. And
That's right. Well, thank you again so much, okay?
Okay, thank you for having me.
Oh, it's been a pleasure, Abby, and I would just really excited to get to know you and get to meet you today.
Yes, you too.
Thank you for listening along on the podcast today. We would sincerely appreciate a rate and review of this podcast episode on your podcast platform. And remember that Employment Expo is coming up in Dyersburg, Tennessee on May the 7th, which is almost 2 weeks from now, from 9 to noon at the Lannom Center. For our listeners that celebrate Easter, happy Easter. And as always, remember, get to the top of your mountain. This is Marsh Naidu signing off.